First off, I want to give all honor and praises and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father through His Son name, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, right? I'm Soldier Yatam, back at it to uplift the nation of Israel, as always. And I just want to touch on a topic that's it have to be talked about. You know, we live in a society where excuses is just through the roof, you know, and they favorite excuses. No one's perfect. We cannot do this. You know, that mindset of I cannot do it because I'm not perfect is a weak stance. It's very weak. Because if we go through the Bible, we see great examples of men and women that were actually perfect in the eyes of God. So what do that look like? Can you be perfect? What does that look like? All of these things we're gonna, Lord willing, I'm gonna touch on all of them matters. All right, and it's very simple. It's not hard. If you're a practicing Israelite that have the faith, you can actually be perfect because our Messiah, who the world called Jesus Christ, would have never told us to be perfect if it was something that you cannot do, right? Y'all gonna have to excuse me. My allergies are terrible. But yeah, we're gonna get through this, right? Check it out. Like I was saying, you can definitely be perfect, and we're gonna bring out some examples on how to be perfect. What does perfection looks like in the eyes of God, right? So we're just gonna jump right into it through the Spirit, Lord willing, the edification comes out. We're gonna start in the book of Matthews, right? Go get the book of Matthews, chapter 5 and verse 48. And these are words from, hands down, the greatest man that ever walked this earth, Hamashiach Yahweh, who the world called Jesus Christ, who was the perfect example, right? And it was man before him that walked the earth that gave us the same example of being perfect in the eyes of God, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So this is Christ giving us a commandment. He said, "Yo, be perfect." Why would he tell us to do something that was not possible? See, we look at Christ and we look at what he did, and everyone said that you should have a Christ-like mindset. Well, if he's telling you to be perfect, which Christ was perfect, that means that you should have that same mind frame of being perfect, right? So, but what do that look like? What makes you perfect? Let's get it. I'm gonna tell you what makes you perfect. According to the Most High God, not according to this world. Because if you let the world tell you, first of all, they'll tell you that you can't be perfect. But then you got these famous actors and athletes that the average Joe look at that like as the standard of perfection, the goals of life. And what do they tell you? Get you a bag of money, get you a harlot as a wife, right? Because that's all they are. And and get you a big house and you're perfect, According to society, that's perfection. You got a bag full of money, you got a harlot as a wife, and you got a big house. You're perfect. But that's not what God said. Let's find out what God said makes you perfect, because this is something that you actually can obtain. Check it out. This is the book of Psalms, right? The book of Psalm, chapter 19, and verse 7. And it reads, "The law of the Lord is perfect." That is right there. The law is perfect. So if you're practicing the law of God, you're already moving in the righteous path of perfection. See how that works? So it says, "The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul," your mind. Once you start following the law, statutes, and commandments, it's going to convert you into a path of perfection. You're no longer going to go after the idols of this world. You're no longer going to celebrate the customs of this world. You're no longer going to walk in a mix of darkness. You're going to walk according to the laws of God, which is going to make you perfect and is going to convert the way you think, right? Let's finish it out. Converting the soul, the testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So once you have this perfection, which is following the law, is going to make the wisest person that think he knows something, he's going to be found out to be stupid. He's not going to know anything because he haven't got in line with the perfection of God, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. And a lot of people like to jump this step. They want to jump the step and they think that they can obtain something in life without involving the Most High God. What contrary to proper belief, you can. You can walk with Satan and he will give you everything that your heart desires. But will you be perfect in the eyes of God? No, you will not. See, if you're a practicing Israelite, you are searching and seeking for the approval of God. And that's what makes you perfect, is following the law, statutes, and commandments of God. Let's get another one. This isn't going to be a long video because I know that y'all got a short attention span anyway, right? Let's get the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 13. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 13. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. And we just read what makes you perfect with God, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. So if you want to obtain perfection, you want to be perfect in the eyes of God, if you care about that. See, I care about them things. My name is Yotam. It means Yah word is perfect. Yahweh word is perfect. And that's something that I had to understand as a child. And I've been chasing the meaning of my name my whole life, which brings me to this point in my life right now. I'm still thriving and striving to be the perfection that God created me to be. And the only way I can obtain that is by keeping the law and teaching the law. Understand that. So yes, you can be perfect. You just have to want to do the will of the Father. What is that? Keeping the Sabbath day holy, honoring your parents, keeping the high holy days, and on and on and on and on. The law makes you perfect. Understand that. You have to understand that. Let's get another one. Like I said, it's not going to be long, right? Let's get Deuteronomy. We're going to stay in Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 15. What? It says, but thou shalt have a perfect and just wait. So what do that mean? That means that you cannot just be all love and no balance of discernment to know what's love and what's hate. That's a false balance, right? The Most High God said, but thou shalt have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure shall thy have. So that's something else that make you perfect, by understanding that you cannot be all hate and you cannot be all love. It have to be balanced. A balanced weight makes you perfect. That's what makes the Most High God perfect. Right? Everything that we're going through right now as Israelites, Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans scattered across the world is the perfection of God. Meaning, we deserve what we're going through. And if he do not punish us, that would make him an unperfect God. But we know that God is perfect. So I say this all the time and I remind myself, when I'm having the worst day ever, right? It's the perfect will of God. And that right there humbles me every time. Every time I think that, man, I'm so special, why is this happening to me? Nigga, be lucky, because it's the perfect will of God. That's called a just wait. Understand that. So if you want to be perfect, you cannot be all hate. You cannot be all love. It have to be a balance. That's another way that you can be perfect in the eyes of God, by having discernment, by knowing when to go right and when to go left. Understand that, right? Let's get another one. Now let's pull some examples of people that was actually perfect in the Bible, because it wasn't just our Messiah. He was the ultimate perfection because he laid down his life for the nation of Israel. But there were other perfect people that walked the earth, right? Check this out. Let's get the book of Genesis, right? Check this out. The book of Genesis, chapter 6. Look at me. I'm all over the place. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 9. And it reads, "These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God." Noah was a perfect man and he walked with God. How did Noah walk with God? Because he did the will of God. When everyone else around him was going crazy, he said, yo, man, it's about the rain. It's about the flood. Y'all need to stop this madness and follow me. Help me build this ark. That made Noah perfect in the eyes of God, that he followed God's commandment. It always goes back to the same thing. Keeping God's law make you perfect. What is a law? What is a commandment? It's a commandment. You whatever God tell you to do, whether you think in your head is right or wrong, you doing it is actually making you perfect in the eyes of God. Where do we find God's laws? In this sacred, holy Bible. So if you want to be perfect in the eyes of God, you have to keep his commandments. It's simple stuff. Simple stuff. Let's get another one, right? We're going to stay in Genesis, right? We're going to go to Genesis 15, right? Genesis 15 and verse 5. Check it out. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 5. And it reads, "And he brought him forth aboard and said, Look now towards the heavens and tell the stars." He said, "Look into the heavens until the stars, if thou be able to number them." And he said unto him, "So shall thy seed be." Right? Verse 6. "And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it for him for righteousness." So believing in the Most High God will be also counted as righteousness. If you're a righteous man, you're perfect. So you also have to believe. If you believe on God, right, and follow his way, that also makes you perfect in the eyes of God. He said, yo, if you just look in the stars, if you're able to count them, and if you believe that, this is what he told him. He said, if you believe that, this is your seed is going to be like the stars of heaven. And Abraham believed that. And that's what made him righteous. Understand that. So we got keeping the law. We got following the commandments, right? Doing them actually. We have a just wait makes you perfect. And we have actually believing in what you're doing makes you perfect. Understand that. And we also have Noah, the first man in the Bible that God said he was perfect. Check this out. Let's get another one. Another man that was perfect, right? Because contrary to popular belief, everyone think that it's it's taboo. It's ludicrous. How dare you say that I can be perfect? Well, God said that, all right? Ripley's, believe it or not, you can be perfect. Understand that. Let's get another one, right? Let's get the book of Job, right? Let's get the book of Job. Salakia. Let's get the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. Check it out. And that's all you got to do. You just got to read your Bible, right? And you'll see what's going on. This is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and astonished evil. So he feared God. That's another way. You have to fear God and walk in his ways. And you have to shame evil. That means you have to stay away from it. You have to be disgusted by it. You can't promote it. Doing those things will make you perfect in the eyes of God. Understand this, brothers and sisters. You can actually be perfect. Thus said the Holy Bible. Thus said the Lord. So this whole nonsense of I can't be perfect, it's too hard. No one ever did it besides Christ. That's cap. That's cap. We have to read the Bible and you will understand that you can actually be perfect. I want to be perfect. So I'm going to keep keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, having fear in God, believing in God, having discernment to discern from right and evil, having a just weight of righteousness and hatred and yeah, I'm gonna say it again, and hatred towards these other nations. That's perfection. That's a just weight. I know that went over some of y'all heads. Understand what I'm saying? Huh? Let's get another one. Let's get another person that was perfect in the eyes of God, because that's what it's all about. Now, if you don't care about being perfect in the eyes of God and you care about this world, oh man, you can do everything. They will accept you. You will be another Diddy boy. Diddy was perfect in the eyes of the world.